Woohoo! We're going to start lying flat on our back, knees in our chest. Let's arrive together. Knees into the chest, just a gentle shape. And then take a moment to arrive. Deep belly breaths, inhale. Audible exhale. One more time. Inhale. Audible exhale. And then begin to you place your hands on the tops of your knees, and we're going to make little circles to the right. Small, slow circles. No hurry. So we're kind of unwinding into ourselves, into our bodies. Coordinating breath with movement. We'll come back to center and switch the direction of those circles. Look at the center. So beautiful out here. We'll come back to center and draw the knees out, wide and around and in. Wide and around and in. My fingers can see better. Wide and around and in. Oh, yeah. Any movement that's calling out to you, if you want to lift your torso while you're doing it, feel free. And then switch the direction of those circles. And then come back to center and extend both legs up towards the ceiling. The ceiling. Just checking to see if anyone's paying attention. I flex and point, flex and point and flex. No right or wrong way to do this. Just warming up the bones and our feet. And then circle the ankles one way. And then circle them the other way. And then spread the legs wide out to the side. You can place your hands on your inner thighs, your calves, whatever comes easiest to you, but not the knees. That's a fragile joint. You don't want to do that. And then flex and point feet. And then circle those ankles again. And then circle the other way. Nice. And then draw the knees back into the chest and begin to rock yourself forward and back. A little small movement forward and back. Nice. And then come on to hands and knees. And separate your palms shoulder distance. And your knees hip distance, and just take a moment here to kind of ground down. Oh, that's my favorite playlist. Forever. And then begin to wag your tail from side to side. If you need to pad your knees, please feel free to do so. You probably would be well served, Julie, with a blanket. If you had all those pops out here, that would be ideal. And then wag your head the other direction. So tail goes to the left and neck to the right. Easy does it. Slow it down. So try to be deliberate and slow with your movements. There's no hurry here. Gentle yoga. And then begin to circle the hips around and down and forward. No right or wrong way to go. Just beginning to explore the edges of your hips, the edges of your rib cage, edges of your shoulder, maybe the head and neck circles too. Maybe come back to child's pose for a few breaths. It's all available for you in the yoga buffet. So nice. And then come back up to center and pause for a moment. Just find stillness for a beat. And then begin to circle in the opposite direction. So the hardest part of the class is remembering which direction you went the first time. Silly little subtle humor. Beginning to unwind. Right, so a lot of what we do is just slowing down the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mode. By breathing closing your eyes maybe so you can bring the focus inward on the process of your breath. And then you're going to come down to child's pose, wide knee child's pose, big toes come together at the back. And then just drop your hips back. And you can stack your palms on top of each other and lay your forehead or your cheek on your palms if that feels good. Or you can have your arms stretched out. No right or wrong way to go. I just offer suggestions. Rest is up to you. And then just wiggle your hips from side to side here. Just kind of get that little dig into the hips, side to side. And then coming back up to hands and knees. And then bring your left palm to the center and widen your knees just a little bit more so you've got a good triangular base. And then reach the right arm up, and don't push it too hard. Right, and then you're gonna circle the right wrist one way, and then circle it the other way. And then yeah, let's do that. I love that. Circle with the arms one direction. On the left, this is for you. Encouragement. And then the other way, circle the other way. Go slow, don't be in a hurry. Really feel the whole range of motion. And then stop at the top here, reaching up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, slide underneath and to the top of the right shoulder. Let your forehead come down. If your forehead doesn't come down, that's okay. Right? It's not about forcing anything. It's about softening into the face. Keep those breaths. If you feel like adding on to this variation, you can bring your left arm up and we can leave the left arm behind the right hip crease and get a little bit more of a twist in the upper thoracic spine, but it's not necessary. Right? So don't feel like you have to go deeper than I suggest. I'll do. Deep belly breath. Mind, body, spirit. Think about quieting the mind, listening for the breath, listening for the sounds around you. It's so beautiful out here right now. And then come back to center. Just pause for a moment, kind of absorb that last pose. And then bring the right arm to the center. And then sweep the left arm up, opening the chest and the collarbones. And then let's circle the left wrist one way and circle it the other way. And then let's move that arm, that variation we did on the other side, kind of circle the arm around, slow the movement down. So it's not about like pulling any tendons in the shoulders. And then switch the direction of those circles, nice and slow and big. Full range of motion. Nice. One more circle. And then coming back to the ceiling, that big old sky right there. Take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, dive down. You take a couple breaths just in this subtle, sweet shape. Soften to the hips, soften the jaw and the palate of your tongue. And if you like that variation on the other side, you can Sweep the right arm up and weave it behind the left hip. And get a little bit more extension to the rib cage and the upper thoracic spine. And come back to center, coming back to hands and knees. And then you're gonna sit on your shins. So this might be tricky for you. You might wanna sit in a comfortable cross-legged position. If you got knee issues, you modify, right? Everything here is modifiable. That'll work. So this is so good for stretching out the tops of your feet, right? And you're gonna place, yeah, that's where we're going, love. You're gonna come back, that's where we're going. Mm-hmm. Oh, let the head and neck go. Only if it doesn't hurt. Mm. And then come back to center. Eagle arms. Right arm's gonna come underneath the left. And then you're gonna take the fingers and like whoop. And then you're gonna take the elbows and whoop. No, okay. And then unwind, but slowly. Like, draw that line in space, unwind, so nice, so slow. And then the other side. So like the hardest part of class is which one was on top, which one's on the bottom, left one on the bottom. And then start by just kind of adjusting the shoulders, seeing where they're at, and then lowering them down away from the ears, and then taking the fingers and pulling them away from the face. So we build, the pose builds one step at a time, and then take the elbows and like, whoop, lift it up, and notice if that did anything to your shoulders, and if it did, like readjust, the shoulders back down, oh yeah. And then just deep, slow, go back down. More breaths here, nice, let's soften the jaw. Tongue, facial muscles. Last breath. And then unwind, like so you're drawing that line in space. Like every transition is a pose. And then come on to hands and knees again. And extend your right leg out behind you with the toes on the floor. Right? And then press to the back of the heel. Oh, press to the back of the heel. Oh, so good. And then make little circles with the ankle. The toes remain on the floor. And you use the resistance of the toes to press against. So the whole foot gets this circular massage. And then switch the direction of those circles. Nice. And then extend the leg. Lift it like just hover the foot a little bit. And then flex the foot. And then press to the heel. Like really wake up and animate that leg. Press the heel. Press to the balls of the toes. Flex the foot. Wake up the leg. Wake up the glutes. And then let that go. And let's switch sides. Left foot's gonna come out and the left toes are gonna be on the floor. And then you're gonna press through that heel and the back arch of the foot. So that opens up my calf, my Achilles. That's so good. And then begin to circle that ankle one way. Your toes stay on the floor. And then circle it the other way. Beautiful. And then extend the leg up off the floor, just hover. So it's not about height as much as it is about length. And then flex the foot and keep pressing through the heel on the arch of that foot and keep reaching the toes towards you. So you're really flexing and waking up the glute and the inner thigh, and then let that go. Beautiful. Tuck both toes underneath you. You're gonna lift your knees up for just an inch. You're just gonna kind of hover. Lift your torso forward, gaze slightly forward, and then release the knees. So this teaches us how to get the core engaged. As we make the transition back to downward facing dog, you're gonna kind of hover, draw the navel and round through the spine, gaze slightly forward, and then lower the knees. It's so nice. Now we put it together. Gonna lift the knees and then slowly, like slow motion, lift the hips all the way up to the ceiling, finding your way to downward dog. Nice. And then bend one knee and sink the opposite heel down. Pedal out the feet. Bend and sink. Bend and sink. That's it. Beautiful. Couple times. Let it feel good. Let the head be heavy. Just let the head and neck go. Nice. Bring the big toes together at the back of your mat. So now you're downward facing dog with one leg. And then press the hips and the thighs back and length, maximum length in the lower back. Let the head dangle. Beautiful. Nice. And then line up the pinky toes with the outside edges of your mat. So you got a wide stance. And then walk your hands midway back towards your toes. So you're stacking your hips up over your heels and you're cupping your fingers. So you're on your fingertips and you're just gonna rock back and forth. So you're gonna lift the toes up and then lift the heels up. Lift the toes, definitely bend your knees if that feels better on your body. All right, so this is not one size fits all yoga. No yoga really is. It's about trying things on and seeing what feels best in your body. Nice. And now stay stationary. Find that midline where your weight is directly over your heels. Your hips are directly over your ankles, right? And then let your head and neck go. Sweet. Plant the left palm in the center of the mat. Maybe stay on your fingertips if that was more accessible for you. And then reach the right hand to the shin, the calf, and then we gaze underneath the left armpit and twist. Twist. Nice. Raise your breath. Switch sides. Right hand comes to the center. Left arm grabs a hold of the shin, the calf, the heel, whatever it can come to easily. Gaze underneath the right armpit. Beautiful. Keep going, girl. Back to center. Heel toe the feet hip distance, maybe a little wider. Place your hands on top of your shins, deep bend. So the hips don't come quite down as far as the knees, but there's a generous bend happening here. And your hands are right on your shins. Now press your shins into your hands into the shins, and then your shins back into your hands. So there's a little bit of action. It's a small action. The shins press back, the hands press into the shins press into the hands, and now we add the torso. You're gonna inhale, long spine, arch up. Keep pressing the shins back, keep pressing the shins, the hands into the shins, and then exhale, let it go. And again, hands on shins, pressing the shins back back into the hands back into the shins. Navel draws in, so you're gonna like scoop and hollow out that navel to protect your lower back, and then we add the torso. So lift and reach and get long, and then let it go. One more time, just like that. Hands are placed on the shins. Press the shins back. Lift the torso, draw the navel in to support that lower back. Long spine. And then let it go. Clasp the hold of your elbows. Keep a generous bend in your knees. All right, so you can actually do this in a squat if that feels better in your back, or you can be straight leg or anywhere in between. Right? It's not a one size fits all. And then let your head go. Shake it, yes. Shake it, no. And then rock your torso side to side. Side to side. Beautiful. Release the arms and clasp them together behind your back. And draw the arms up and over. Oh, good stretch. Feel free to stay with a deep squat like that. When I get into a deep squat, I like to feel it more in my shoulders. Oh, it's good. Maybe play here a little bit with that little movement. Drop both palms to the left. Drop both palms to the right. There's no right or wrong way to move. Whatever feels good, whatever's inspiring you, whatever she's like calling out to you, like, oh, maybe I want to have this feels. And then release that when you're done. Just hang. Kind of hang. And then turn your palms down, and as painfully, as slowly and painfully as possible, I mean inch, like if you're already halfway through, you gotta come back. You're gonna go like inch, inch, inch. Walk your way back to the top of your mat as slow as you possibly can, and then observe. Watch when the weight shifts from the legs to the upper body. Just feel it. There'll be a shift. Oh, so nice. When you arrive, heel toe your feet hip distance. And then inhale, reach the right leg up and back. Reach, 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 reach. Get long, open up. And then lower the leg. Left side on an inhale. Reach it, reach, 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 reach. Oh. And then lower the leg. Back to the right side. I'll open up and reach, and then step it between your hands. Drop the back knee down. Draw the torso up. About 10 minutes into this, and I'm a whole different person. Walk your foot a little further forward so that, yes, you have more stability. Grab a hold of left wrist. Feel free to modify anything and everything. And then lean to the right. Notice the position of your head. Is it through your arms? If it is, bring it all back. Open up back. Yeah, it's okay to be off balance a little bit. Come back to center, switch sides. Double hold to the right, yeah, and then lean to the other side. Oh, notice the position of the head. Nice. Come back to center. Release that. Straighten the front leg. Little hammy stretch. Flex the right toes. I've got friends crawling all over me. Take your toes, your right toes, right, the toes on your right foot, and externally rotate them. And now internally rotate them. Beautiful. Rebend the right knee, plant the sole of the right foot down, plant your palms on either side of the right foot, tuck the back toes under, lift the leg, step the right foot back to meet the left. Don't lock the feet, just pedal, pedal, pedal. You gotta take your time. Tricky. Pedal. Like the lovers rock. When you're ready, reach the left leg up and back. No thinking here. Feeling mine, not thinking mine, and then step it through. So there's no criticism. Am I doing it right? No such thing. Drop the back knee down. It's like, am I breathing? Does it feel good? Doesn't feel good. What can I do to make it feel better? Drop the back knee down, lift the torso, come up. Grab a hold of the, it's like I get confused. Doesn't matter, we're doing both sides. Grab a hold of the right wrist And this is the other side, right? Okay. Lean to the left. Oh, so if my head's forward and I'm leaning like this, right, I get a whole different stretch. If I lean back and then open up, it's more like right underneath the armpit, side of the waistline. No right or wrong, just different ways to target the body. And then switch sides. Don't swing to in a storm, like your love is rock. And then come back to center and straighten the front leg. We do that hamstring stretch. Flex the foot. So if my hips, you want to keep your hips up over the knee. If I come down like this, I don't know where it's stretching. It's stretching something, but not quite the hammy or the knee. Yes, you know what I'm modifying. Beautiful. Flex the toes, micro bend in the knee so you're actually getting that point of insertion where the hamstring connects with the glutes. You'll feel it. And now let's externally rotate the toes, like bring them out. That gets a little more of that IT band inside of the body. And then internally rotate. That gets the hip flexor and so on. And then rebend the left knee. So you're going to plant the sole left foot. Palms come to either side of the foot. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the thigh. Step the left foot back to meet the right. This is all core. Helps when you make that noise. And then the left feet. Beautiful. And then come down to your knees. And then take your right palm and bring your fingers towards me. So this is one of those poses that like you could overdo it. Don't overdo it. Right? Don't be too aggressive. And then if you feel like going deeper, you're going to slowly peel the right palm off the floor, coming onto the fingers. And then press through the palm. Press through the base of the palm. Press back through the base of the palm. If you got carpal tunnel issues, this is the pose for you. Yeah, you don't need to go that far to kind of feel it. So yeah, it's like this is too much. Probably right about in between. Yeah. And then reverse that. Right? You're gonna bring the palm up, and you're just gonna kind of circle around and circle the other way. Nice. And then switch sides. Left fingers are going to come towards you. So depending on how open your shoulders are will determine how far the fingers can go towards you. So it's like, whoop, that's it, my friend. That's it. Micro bend in the left elbow. Don't hyperextend. That's it. And now press. Yes. And then if you feel like going deeper, you're going to slowly kind of lean back and peel the fingers, the palm away from the floor, coming onto your fingers. You don't have to go that far to make it to have it be effective. And then you press out of the palm, kind of cut and press. So that's a good one. And now reverse onto the wrist. And then come seated. And just kind of flip the palms. And then this way. This is my favorite mind. My mess. Right wrist goes this way. Ready? Right wrist goes this way. Left wrist goes this way. Switch. 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 Now flip. Bend your legs up. Funny. Shift them out. Just shift them. Inhale, unswitch. So we take a moment here to build the pose. So you internally rotate the fingers and slide the shoulder blades back onto the scapula, right back onto the back, the spine. And now take the navel and draw it in, and then lift up to the back ribs. Yes. flex the feet, press the tops of the thighs and the calves down so you can kind of engage the hips, and then squeeze the legs together like you're like zipping them internally. And then go up, go up, go up, go up. Take a breath here. And then just come halfway, just halfway. Just kind of tilt the torso halfway. Stay there. Plant the shoulders right back into the sockets. Notice what that does to the spine. And then let it go. Round the back, C curve. Beautiful. Inhale, come up. And draw the right knee in. Inhale. Exhale. So the right foot presses into the left thigh. Right, notice what that does to your right groin and your hip on the outside of the right hip when you do that. Like you press and then you release. And you press and then you release. So active release, stretch. You press and then you release. One more time. You press and now you just release and soften here. For a few breaths. Just soften into it. Lift them up and switch sides. Right leg extends, left leg draws in. Inhale, exhale. Hold the mat.
Oh, I can't do it.
Oh, well.
Nice out there.
It's gorgeous out here. Okay, let's do that active release, couple rounds of active release stretching. Left foot presses into that right shin or inner thigh. Press and then release. And then press and then release. And then one more time. Press and then release. And now just fold it. And then come up and draw the soles of the feet together. And bring your hands behind you so your fingers face the opposite direction and just kind of lift one hip and then the other hip. Just kind of rock side to side. And then come back to center and lift both hips for a breath and a release. Let's do that one more time. Just kind of lift up and then release. And now come seated on your sitting bones. So sit nice and tall. You might need to rock back and forth a couple times to find that place. You might need to bring your feet a little bit further out to find that place. So there's no perfect position for the toes. Right? It's wherever you're like, okay, I think I am right in the center. And now you're going to take your elbows and you're, round spine, C curve. Let the head and neck be heavy, let it go. Or don't try to hold it up. And then notice if you're storing and holding on to any tension anywhere. For me, it's my jaw. I tend to clench. Like when things get kind of stressful, I notice, oh, there I go again, clenching. So just become aware of some of your habits. And then the more you are aware of your habits that don't serve you, the more you're able to make changes. And then you have come up. I'm going as wide as we're gonna go today. So there's lots of different things you can do here, right? The work is basically just in the hips and opening up the hips. So you can flex, you can do a little active release, like flex and draw the heels up off the floor and then release. This is active release stretching, just kind of moving through it, right? Or you can bring your elbows down. Oh, man, stiff. And so when we're in a folded position, right, the diaphragm gets kind of smushed and truncated. And so it's really a good opportunity to learn how to breathe through the back body. The back of the ribs, like, you know, like if you were a fish and you had gills on the sides of your rib cage, you learn how to move that part of your body. And when you learn how to move that part, the back body and the side body, then you can create more space between the intercostal ribs. And then come up and crawl yourself on over to the right side. And then sweep the left arm up and over. Oh. And then just observe if that left hip is migrating up off the floor, right? Because it's going to want to follow you. And so you just kind of got to re-anchor through that left hip. And once you do that, the stretch actually comes deeper on both sides of the waistline, not just the right side of the waistline, but it's evenly now on both sides of the waistline. You're looking at me like, yeah, yeah. And now let's circle the wrist one way and circle it the other way. And now face the leg. Right, so you're going to bring your right hand kind of behind you a little bit. And the left hand in front. Yep. And then you're going to just kind of lift yourself up out of your seat for a minute. And then if you can, rock your hips back. Right? And then crawl yourself on over. And then come on up and let's go over to the other side. Go slow, because sometimes, most of the time, injuries occur in the transition. We're like, get me out of this pose. And that's when we pull something. So actually, every part of what we do is yoga. The transitions, the poses themselves, in and out of the poses. It's all mindfulness. And then once again, notice if that right hip is migrating with you, and then anchor back down to the right hip. When I do that, I feel that deeper on the left side body. Deeper in my fat pockets. And then face the leg. And then bring the left hand kind of a little bit further away from you. And that'll let you twist through the rib cage a little bit more. And then when you're ready, walk yourself on down to the side. And then come back to center, and you're going to zip your legs together, just kind of bounce and zip, bounce. And then sweep the left leg behind you, and the right shin in front of you, the pigeon pose. Yeah, you can do thread the needle. If you don't like this, it doesn't work for you, you can certainly alternate with thread the needle on your back. So your right shin's going to come not totally underneath it yet. And then you're gonna, so a couple options for you. You can stay up high, that works. You can come down to your elbows, that works, right? Or if you want, you can go all the way out. You crawl yourself back up. You're gonna sweep your left leg forward and your right leg behind you. And then take a moment to kind of level the hips. Make sure that the sacrum and the pelvis is level. And then once again, find the right position for you. So it could be a couple breaths up high, just letting the hips sink. It could be a couple breaths down at your elbows. Right? Don't be in a hurry. Or it could be the full expression of the pose with the arms out in front of you. All of them are equally good. And when you're ready, crawl yourself back up slowly. And then scoop the left shin behind you so you're on both knees. Little cat, little cow. Inhale, arch up, look up. Exhale, pull. Inhale, arch up, look up. Exhale, pull. 2 more times using the rhythm of your breath to find the movement. And then when you're complete, you're going to find child's pose. And so you're going to let your hips drop down to your heels. And then any variation with your arms, you can stack your palms on top of each other if you found that useful. You can walk your arms out front. You can draw your knees closer together and draw your arms behind you. Staying in child's pose, you're just gonna bring your arms out to the side like airplane wings, like a T. And then press the palms down. So you're letting the collarbones widen, but the shoulder heads drop. Then bring the hands back underneath you. Lift your torso and come slide onto your belly. And bring your arms out to the side like a T. And just wiggle your hips from side to side. And then you're gonna bend your elbows and pull your palms closer towards your chest. You're gonna cup your fingers. On an inhale, you're gonna arch up, baby cobra. On an exhale, you're gonna drop the right shoulder down, look towards the left. Inhale, come up, switch sides. Keep going. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up. One more set. Last set. Arms back out to the side like this. Clasp the hands together behind your back and place them on your sacrum so it's a loose clasp, just threading the fingers. Right? Then drop the shoulders and the elbows down towards the floor. Rest on your forehead. Draw the elbows in towards each other. Draw the elbows down towards the floor. Last set. Draw the elbows in towards each other. Draw the elbows down towards the floor. Extend the arms. Keep the fingers clasped. Extend the arms towards the toes. Lift the torso. Keep pressing the toes on the floor. Oh, happy. Keep pressing the tops of the toes. So don't curl. Other way. Tops of the toes. Tops of the feet. That's better. And now don't go for height. Go for length. So look down. Let the head and neck be long. Release the clasp. Stay. Keep pressing the tops of the feet down so you rock a little bit further towards your pubic bone. And then let it go. Rock from side to side. Do one more set of cobra. Clasp the hands together. Reach the hands towards the toes. Lift the torso, press the tops of the feet down. Engage the legs to support the lower back. Let the head and neck go. Let it be long. Look down, not up. Don't crank. Now release the clasp of the fingers. Reach the arms out to the side like airplane wings. Keep the feet pressing down. Reach the arms forward. Superman. Reach the arms back to the side, back behind. We swim in space a couple times. Side, forward, side, back. One more set. Side, forward, side, back, lift the toes. Don't go for height, go for length. Not height, length. Navel draws into the spine to protect your lower back. Everything zips in. Rib, hip, connection. One more breath. Let it go. Beautiful. Bring your palms underneath your shoulders. Lift your torso, come up. Come back to child's pose. Lift the torso. Sweep your legs out in front of you. Articulating with a C curve. Never a flat back. C curve. We go down one vertebra at a time. One breath, one vertebra. C curve. Flex the feet, press the tops of the thighs down. One vertebra at a time. C curve. Go slow. Resist gravity. Press through the toes and the balls of the feet. Press the tops of the thighs down. C curve. Rib, hip connection. When you get down there, you realize, knees into the chest. Take a moment in the shape. Happy baby. Rock from side to side. You want to go deeper for a few breaths? You extend the legs wide out to the side. Hands spin wherever they come. They can be on your feet. If you touch your feet, they can be on your calves. They can be in your thighs, on your thighs. No right or wrong there. Take a couple breaths, kind of flex and point the toes, circle the ankles. That's where we started. Full circle. Draw the knees into the chest. Let's do a couple spinal twists before we call it good. Right arm out to the side like a T. First, sweep both hips to the right, then sweep both knees to the left. Close your eyes. Come back to center, roll onto your back. Take a moment in this shape, don't be in a hurry. Knees into the chest, just kind of pulling and tugging and rocking. And then when you're ready, left arm out to the side like a T, sweep both hips to the left first. And then drop both knees to the right. Take left. Come back to center, back onto your back, try and use the chest. We do a little diaphragm compression, internal organ compression before we settle home. Knees to nose to knee. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Find your way to Shavasana. Rock the hips from side to side a little bit. Take your time getting there. If you need a final finishing pose, please take it. Right, this is your practice. It's what you need. Take a couple cleansing breaths before we go too deep. Inhale. Audible exhale. Don't be afraid to make some noise. Inhale. Close your eyes and let your body melt. Slowly coming back to the surface and making small movements with your fingers and your toes. Small circular movements. Now stay there, stay there, stay there. Don't do as I do, just do as I say. Small movements with your fingers and your toes. And then reach your arms overhead for a full body stretch. So stretch from fingertip to tippy toe out your lower back. Really reach. And then draw your knees into your chest. And don't be in a hurry. Take a moment and shake. When you're ready, roll onto your right hand side in the fetal position. Stay there for a bit. Just feel the connection to the ground. Feel how grounding it is, how nice it is to be so close to the solid surface of earth. And then gently press yourself up to a comfortable sitting position with your eyes closed. Tall spine, back to bones. Take a moment. Don't be in a hurry. Lifting up through the corner of the head. Reaching up through the back body. So stacking the muscles at the back ribs. Lifting through the back ribs. Softening through the front of the legs. With that bending. And bring the hands together. Palms together. We touch our forehead. And take a moment to be grateful for all the blessings in our lives. The opportunity to have compassion and the opportunities where we seek humility so we can have a profound human experience. And then we bring our hands right between our third eye, our palms between the third eye. And take a moment to thank ourselves, a moment of gratitude for showing up, for doing the work to benefit our mind, body, and soul. And we bring our palms to our mouth. And we take a moment to acknowledge that our words are very powerful. They can harm, they can heal. Food has the same powerful results. And then we bring our palms to our hearts. And we take a moment to tap into the electromagnetic energy of our hearts, giving thanks for the opportunity to be close to the source, to give love, to feel love, to be connected to love. And then just take a moment here to fill yourself up with gratitude. May there be peace in our hearts. May there be peace in our homes. May there be peace in the world. Namaste. Thank you guys so much.